Well, hello and welcome to Unity of Las Vegas. My name is Jim Lee and I'm the spiritual leader here. I am so glad you're joining us, and if this is your very first time, I'm just sending you lots of love and blessings from all of us here at Unity of Las Vegas. Well, I just want you to know, all of us are here. You and I are here by divine appointment. It's something that's happening in which we are in this divine flow. And our message here at Unity of Las Vegas is very simple. And that is, we believe in this statement: there is a power of love that's within us, as us, that is always greater than the condition before us. And so, simply put, love wins. We are, by and large, a heart-centered ministry, and I ask you to just take a moment now to fill your mind and hearts with love and just send it to everyone. I know you don't know them, but just send them love. And then take a full, deep breath and relax and just feel it coming back to you. That's what it means to experience love at a deep level. Well, as usual, our service is composed of three elements: music, a message, and a meditation. Be open to all of it so it can transform you at depth.
Rolling river God, little stones are smooth, only once the water passes through. Now I am a stone, rough and grainy still, trying to reconcile this river's chill. But when I close my eyes and feel you rushing by, I know that time brings change, and change takes time. And when the sunset comes, my prayer will be just one, that you might pick me up and notice that I am just a little smoother in your hand. Sometimes raging wild, sometimes swollen high, but never have I known this river dry. The deepest part of you is where I want to stay. know that time brings change, and change takes time. And when the sunset comes, my prayer will be just one, that you might pick me up and notice that I am. I'm just a little smoother in your hands. Rolling river God, these little stones are smooth. It's only once the water passes through. Hi, good morning, Unity of Las Vegas. I am so delighted and honored, thankful to be with you all and sharing with you this morning. I just want to, first of all, thank Reverend Jim Lee for extending the opportunity to me to be a part of your service, a part of what's unfolding at Unity of Las Vegas. Some really great stuff. And I tell you, we got a lot of great stuff coming our way, because it has been an opportunity for us to begin to create some things that we have never experienced, encountered, imagined, or witnessed before, because this has been 1 year, if you will. And this is November 1st, but oh my goodness, it's been a year to really think about all of the opportunities that we've been given to understand, and not just understand and believe and think, but to know why we are here now, who we are now, and what we are now, what we've come to do, what we've come to reveal and demonstrate. And I'm not going to go into a whole lot of that, but I have to say it because it is an extension, a segue into my talk this morning. Before we start, I just want to invite you to take a breath, a cleansing breath. One where you just breathe in. And we breathe in all of what we are experiencing right now in terms of angst, or what it was that happened 5 minutes ago or yesterday or whenever. We let it go as we exhale. And I continue to do that on a daily basis. Now, I'll tell you, when I would have loved to have been able to grab that concept, that exercise, and have it work for me at that particular moment. It was back in April of this year, and we had just been given the state of emergency. And so I was thinking, being a Broadway actor, you're always on stage. Nothing really stops the show, so to speak. And here we are, 2 weeks into a global pandemic. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, when are they going to open up the stage again? When are they going to allow people to go back to the theater? When am I going to be able to do what I love to do, the love of my life? And that's be on stage, acting and singing and dancing. And last year I had the opportunity of doing that on a cruise ship for 6 months in Europe. And even though it wasn't Broadway, it was a stage. And I love the stage. And I was wondering, when is this going to happen? And I was thinking about all of this in my kitchen, first week of April, 2020. And I'm washing vegetables. I have a sink full of water. I'm washing vegetables. And I'm thinking in my mind, when is it coming back? When am I going to hear the news? When are we going to finally hear the announcement that Broadway has returned and we're going back to the stage? And something dawned on me, because even though I was hoping that that news would come sooner than later, I tell you, I was in a really thick state of denial that any of it was happening. I remember living in New York during the time of 9/11. I was Lion King at that time, and I remember the stages were closed, dark as we call it, for a couple of days. Then we resumed performances by the end of the week. And I thought to myself, wow, this is seemingly longer period of time, but I think we're going to resume it. Well, this time it wasn't that short period of time. This was a global issue, a global health issue that we were talking about. And I tried to live in that state of denial and hope that we would finally get back to the stage. And the more I denied, the more anxious I became. So I'm still at the sink washing these vegetables, and I feel myself moving into this period of depression, because now fear and uncertainty have become the order of my day. And I'm thinking about how I don't know what to grab onto. What am I going to hold on to? Everything seems like it has slipped out of my grasp. And I have no idea what's happening. I have no idea of when I'm going to be able to get some traction just in my thought process of what may encounter, or what I may encounter the next day. I'm in a fog and I can't see. And from that place of depression, I slip back shortly into denial. Oh, it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be all right. Tomorrow will be the new day, and it'll be the day that they make the announcement, and all of a sudden something says, no, this is done for now. Words that I don't want to hear. Broadway is done, is shut down. We don't know when it's going to return. We don't know when anything is going to return. So I slip back into the state of depression. Then I become very frustrated. Frustrated to the point of not wanting to engage anything or anybody. Maybe I should just spend the entire time that we have during this pandemic in my house and limit all kinds of contact with people and all communication with people. And I realized that is the very opposite of who and what I am. I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. So that frustration continues to mount, and I continue to boil over, and I boil over into this moment where I am thinking about my life. How did I end up here? How did I end up in this situation where I don't know what's going to happen? And now, by the way, finances have come full circle. And as an artist, as a Broadway actor, when it's good, it's really good. But those lean times can be really, really lean. And although I had worked on that cruise ship, it wasn't Broadway. And so I was thinking about my finances. What am I going to do? I usually have all of my events and all of my talks and all of my travels booked 6 months in advance. Well, now it's all been canceled. Everything in my life is canceled as it pertains to my career. And I feel my life has been canceled as well. So from frustration, I boil over into resentment. And I am resenting every decision that I made. I'm going back to when I first got out of college, and my mother's dream for me was to work for a big corporation, and I landed an opportunity with IBM, a sales marketing representative. I was on a fast track. I was making a lot of money and all of those benefits, as my mother used to say. And in that moment, in that very moment, as I had slipped into this moment of resentment, that thought of me not staying with IBM. Because see, if I had stayed with IBM, I thought, I would have all of the money. I wouldn't have to worry about finances. I would have a career. Of course, we would probably go online. I wouldn't have to go into a physical office. Charles, you made a big mistake by leaving IBM. Look at your life now. And then after IBM, you had another opportunity in corporate America. And you said no. You said it wasn't your path. You knew that your path was going to New York, moving to New York, and you moved to New York with $400 in your pocket. And a month later, you got Jesus Christ Superstar, and your career went through the roof. But look at where you are now. I tell you, I went through it. I resented everything, and I thought I had made the wrong step. I thought, instead of going right, Charles, you should have gone left. Not a fun time. And I'm still washing the vegetables in the sink as I slip further into this hole, further down, and it becomes darker and darker. So now, not only was I blaming myself, resentment for everything that I had done, I started blaming and playing the shame game with my parents. If they had taught me differently about how to manage these times and how do you get through and how do you navigate through these tough times, I wouldn't have such a hard uphill battle right now. I would at least know how to navigate this, how to manage it, how to have some kind of emotional landscape that I could hold on and sink into. But they didn't teach me. They should have taught me, and I went through it with my parents. They did this. They did that. They should have done this. They should have said that. And I went through my entire life trying to find someone, something to blame for that present situation and condition and circumstance that I was in. And I'm still washing the vegetables at the sink. Well, blame and shame threw me into what I would call rage. A mental rage, where I was just, in that moment, the unhappiest person in the world. The most unsuccessful thing that had ever walked the face of the earth. The most unlovable, unlikable person. Why would anybody want to be around me? Look at me. I don't have anything. And now I need everything because my life feels like it's gone. It feels like everything has slipped out of my grasps. And in this particular time, in that present moment. It was interesting because it was the first time in my life that I had ever felt the vibration of rage move and course through my body. And it caught my attention for a split second, but I was too involved. I was traveling down that rabbit hole at record speed. I didn't have time to think about what I was feeling, what that feeling was in my body at that particular time. That vibration, that all of what I was thinking was somehow manifesting. And it was manifesting in my body temple. I could feel the heat. I could feel the rampant energy running through my body, the anxiety, the angst. I could feel it all. But like I said, I was too involved. I was too far down the rabbit hole. I was too far along in my story to stop. And from rage, I went to resentment, and rage fed resentment, and resentment fed rage, and so forth and so on. But I'm still washing those vegetables at the sink. And things began to just spin like a cyclone, like a tornado. And I'm spinning with it. Actually, I am the spin that's happening at that particular time. My mind has spun out of center. My heart has spun out into some kind of place where I can't feel the vibration of peace. Seems so far away. And then all of a sudden, in this tirade, something happens. I can't quite explain it, but something happens in that moment. I take a breath, and it's not a normal breath. I mean, we're all breathing. But the only way that I can describe it, and the only way that I tell people that it felt to me was, have you ever been underwater in a pool or in the ocean, and you've stayed underwater just a little too long? Or you've made a dive down into the deep and found yourself down there, but the oxygen is running out. And all of a sudden you're trying to swim back up to surface, swim back up so you can swim back up so that you can, and all of a sudden it was this breath. That was the breath. That was the breath that woke me up. And I looked down, and my hands are still massaging the vegetables in the sink. And I take another breath, and I hear the voice. Because we know that God is the only thing. God is present everywhere. The one power is present wherever we are. And I heard, call one of your mentors. You need to hear another voice. You're ready to come back to center, Charles. Come back to center. And I pick up the phone, and I make one phone call. I make a couple of phone calls. And I share with them what has just happened. And I get off the phone, and all I can do is sit in gratitude. I sit in thanksgiving. Thank you. Thank you, Divine Spirit. Thank you, Divine Breath. And I call it the resuscitative breath, the resurrected that breath of resuscitation. Not only did it wake me up in that particular moment, but as I continued in this moment of sacred silence, God began to speak to me and say, it woke you up and it resurrected all of those things that you had thrown away and abandoned in that moment. Because you see, you're supposed to be here at this particular time. And everything that happened from IBM and the corporate journey to you leaving the corporate journey to find your way on the Broadway stage is in divine order. It was no mistake. There were no mistakes, Charles. You're right where you're supposed to be. And I say that to you, right where you are, right where you sit or stand is exactly where you're supposed to be. Hear that broadcast from the divine. It's right where you are, right here and right now. And I said, yes. Oh, I began to weep because I knew it was real. It wasn't just something that I thought. It wasn't something that I understood. It was something that I knew. And I knew it before I ever went down that rabbit hole of despair. I knew it. I didn't believe it. I didn't just believe it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew I had come here to do great things, to sing great songs, to write great things in a book, to speak life. That's what I came here to do. And I'm so grateful for the resuscitative breath, that breath that we take. But that breath that I took that day woke me up and set me on a divine path. And I'm still on it. I still understand. I'm still navigating. I was navigating before, but I'm navigating through some interesting places now. Some interesting things come in my head and I'm able to see them a little clearly because I had that experience with the resuscitative breath, with that breath that woke me up. And when they do come, those things that would call me into another hole, I go, but one thing I do know is I've come here to be a leader. God, speak to me. And will always speak to us. God will in ways that we understand. I invite you now that if you've fallen into a rabbit hole, or if you feel yourself at the entrance of a place of really deep darkness where you want to jump in because you don't think that, or you don't believe that the reason why you're here is important anymore. Think again. I'm here to tell you, you are right where you're supposed to be. And in those times, just take that breath wherever you are and remember that that breath is breathing you, it's breathing me, it's breathing us. And in it, within it is life itself. God itself, present everywhere that we are. I invite you, wherever you are, to close your eyes. Take another breath, the integrative breath. One that says, I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever God speaks to me. Whatever it is, God. And in this moment, I give great thanks for this time that we've had together. It is a time that has never been. It's a time that will never be again. And in this moment, I give so much joy to what we've come to reveal and demonstrate and create during this time. All the wonders that will come from us, the beauty, the grace, the good, the magnificence, the marvelous, the mystical, and the magic that will come to us and then through us as we continue to move on through this and become more of who we are and know what we've come to do. Oh, how great thou art, O God. Yes, how wonderful thou art. I give thanks, and I'm also grateful for this time that we've shared together. My grandmother used to teach me hymns, and she would teach me different songs, and I'd hear her singing sometimes. She had a raspy, out of tune voice, but she was convicted. So everything that she sung, she believed and she knew. And it permeated the room where you couldn't get away from it. And it would change you because it had surely changed her. And she'd sing, "Great is thy faithfulness, O God, my Father. There is no shadow of turning with thee. Thou changest not thy compassions. They fail not, as thou hast been and forever will be. Great is thy faithfulness." And she'd go on and on and on. And I say, great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness, O Lord, unto me. It has been a wonderful journey these past 25 minutes or so with you. I bid you the very best of life. And all I can say is, remember that resuscitative breath, that it'll wake you up and it'll cause you to remember what you already know. All right, peace and blessings. This is Charles Holt. It's been my joy and my pleasure.
Thank you for joining us today. And please join us immediately following the service for a special fellowship time in which we can just get together and chat about the service, but also things that are going on in your life. That's what we're here for. Now, you can register for this special fellowship time by going to the website, checking it out. Also, you can check out the instructions in the comments section. And we're so glad to see you at a special fellowship time. And if this service has supported you in any kind of way, I'm inviting you and asking you to do a couple of things. First of all, just to share this video with your family or friends or coworkers, anybody that may be in need of some inspiration and information. Also, I'm inviting you to be in partnership with us with prayer, supporting us, and then also to share financially with us so that we can be on the move here to support not only you, but also expand and grow globally. You can do all of this via phone, via text, or get the information from our website. Thank you so much for whatever you do. And I just want you to know that we love you, we bless you, and we deeply appreciate you. And as we conclude is what we call a prayer for protection. Now, this prayer has been all over the world. In fact, it has been to the moon. So this prayer is otherworldly. And just embrace it for yourself. Embrace it for your community. And also let's embrace it for the world. Together, the light of God surrounds us. We are the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love of God. The power of God protects us. We are the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. We are the presence of God. And just remember, wherever we are and wherever we go, God is there and all is well. God bless you.